The Kabbalists explain behind everything in life a spiritual root, meaning that all what my logic would tell me, why certain things happen or don't happen, and we have all the list of the logical reasons for what happened or what didn't happen, try to put it aside and to realize that anything that my logic tells me regarding the why behind my experiences is very limited. What is the root of our soul? Is the light of the Creator. The light of the Creator. Meaning that when our soul came from originally, our soul is a created vessel by the Creator. Therefore, what the Kabbalists explain, if you are an artist, for instance, and you created a piece of art, someone who understands in art, and you would look at the piece of your art, if you really understand in art, he will not judge the art by the appearance, by the way it looks. Someone who truly understands in art can look at the piece of the art and through this piece of art, access to the mind of the artist. People who understand in art, they don't appreciate the piece of the art. They appreciate the mind of the artist. When you look at your life, if you think about anything around you is a piece of art, if you would access the mind of the artist of this universe, this is where you find the Creator. The appearance will always be lacking and concealing and part of an illusion. When you truly make an effort and have a desire to understand life in a deeper way, the first realization you have is whatever happened, it is part of the concealment of this world. So whatever is in front of you, as important as it might be, it is not the most important. What is the most important thing? It is not the design, it's the designer. Since the designer injects its energy into every part of this creation. So something that might seem to be not so positive, if I would have the ability to access the energy behind the design, I will be able to realize how something that doesn't seem to be so positive is actually something very positive in my process to help me to move to a new level. Something that most of people can realize only after time. Not at the moment, after time, after a few months, after a few years, people looking back and say, you know what, this relationship was really bad for me, but you know how many lessons I received? So why to wait a few years to get into realization that something that was so bad for me actually served me by teaching me a lesson. And this lesson actually transformed me in a way that I became much bigger in my life. I'm no longer giving the energy to the wrong people. I'm no longer coming from a place of being needy of energy and dependency. I realized my lesson because of this horrible relationship. Right? But think about how much pain we can save in our life. Why to wait 3 years to realize the lesson? We want to realize the lesson as we're going through the lesson. Freedom. What is the difference between pain and suffering? That's right. Suffering, it's long-term pain. If something is painful, okay, but if you know it's over, okay. But suffering is choosing, holding on to the pain. Eventually, we will get our lessons. If it will take 2 years or 2 weeks or 5 years or another lifetime, eventually we will get the lesson. Why not to gain the freedom and receiving the lesson at the moment? Why do I need to wait? But in order to get the lesson at the moment, I need to desire to get the lesson at the moment. when you do have the desire to get the lesson the moment, you find the strength inside of you to let go of all the things that are not really important. It's not important. It's not, people are not perfect. Some people hurt me. So what? So what? I want to get the lesson and to move on. I don't want to move on without getting the lesson. And I don't want to be stuck in the same place. Most of people moving on without getting the lesson. So what happened? A negative pattern. The universe must bring another individual, another event, another situation to teach me the same lesson because I didn't receive the lesson. I'm getting back into the relationship, the next relationship, because I dropped the other relationship because I felt it wasn't really good for me. And I'm coming to the next relationship with the same dependency and neediness. I didn't receive the lesson. So what type of relationship I'm going to attract? Feel that I'm in a loop. It's a different person, different name, different hair color, but exactly the same thing. Oh my God. You know what? I will move to Chicago. You move to Chicago. You're saying, in Chicago there are different people. And you attract the same type of people. Why? You cannot really move on without getting the lesson. Get the lesson. Get the lesson. What is really important? To get the lesson. Is the most important to move on. We all want to move on to the next thing, to a better place. The moment you get the lesson, the universe already moves you to the better place and the next thing. You don't need to do that for yourself. Our work, it is just to get the lesson.